How are you, Mr. Sampson?
Good, Mr. Sampson. How are you?
Pretty good. Ryan,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. This is
So-
a resume. by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're okay. What position are you applying for
I'm
today?
applying for the construction management position.
Okay. And what are your strengths in that position?
I'd say my biggest strength would be leadership. Just grabbing everybody in one group and making them cohesive within the group, and just allowing everybody to work together.
Okay. What would those people say are your weaknesses in this position?
At first, at the beginning of the company, I would probably say that the biggest weakness would be being stubborn, and I think that's improved throughout the year. I've learned that being in a leadership position, as I've grown in that position, that you have to take everybody's ideas and bring it into just the best idea that's the most efficient, because your idea or my idea might not be the best.
Okay. And what would your current boss say about you?
I would say that he probably thinks that I'm a very hard worker and that I'm always early, always on time. That I'm just always thinking ahead. He doesn't have to tell me everything. I'm just always thinking what's in the best interest of the company.
Okay. And as you're going into this management position, what was your boss's responsibilities?
I would say my boss's responsibilities would be finding the next job. Find that would be his main priority, and then telling me what to do to tell everybody else. So him finding the jobs and telling me what needs to be done throughout the whole entire day, and I would execute that.
What did you think of your boss?
I thought he was a very hard worker. He came from this company started with nothing, and now it's grown into something, and it's going to keep growing into something a lot bigger. And he respects all the workers, and he respects a lot of the workers, and he expects a lot from each worker that is being hired.
How would your coworkers describe you professionally?
I would say that that I have a good temper on the job site, compared to a lot of people, or just not compared at all. I'm usually pretty calm about when situations turn bad, and try to figure out the best possible outcome for the position that we're in. That is the problem that arose, to just try to find the best way calmly and not think on emotions.
So, why do you want to work for us instead of another area?
I would say y'all have a very good management position to lead a very big group of people, and to allow me to grow into the leader that I need to be in.
So, why did you step back from your previous position at your previous employer?
I would say that I wasn't respected enough, and the pay wasn't as good as it needed to be as compared to here.
All right. And why should we hire you over other people that present a similar engagement in this position?
I would say that I'm very good at bringing everyone together, getting everything done on time, just always striving to do the best, and I'm always thinking outside the box to get the most done efficiently as possible, and always bringing new ideas to the table, and always bringing people together, because this isn't some individual activity. This is a group project that we're doing.
So, what specific qualities do you bring to as like an individual to the group setting?
I would say just motivating people, and just trying to push people to become their very best, so they can someday replace my position, because we need that within a company to replace the people who are leaving.
What have you accomplished in your positions before?
I would say what I've accomplished is getting tasks done on time that surprisingly should have been done, should have been finished days after it should have been done. Always thinking ahead, like I said before, always thinking ahead. Like, just making sure everything is done on time. I'm always there before the guys are there or after the guys are there. So when they get there, our start time is 7 o'clock. When they get there, that all they have to do is just hop in the equipment and run. It's already warmed up. Everything is everything is ready. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to stress about anything.
So would you say that would be your most important contribution to your last employer, or do you have another?
I'd say that'd be one of the most important contributions that nobody has to stress in the company, except me and the owner, about maintenance and just getting everything done and getting everything delivered to the job site. Nobody's stressing about anything. All they have to do is just come to work and do what they have to work. But me and the owner have to set up everything and make sure everything is good to go.
So in those days where the job is overdue, how do you perform under that pressure?
When the job's overdue,
Or like at the deadline? And,
yeah.
Yeah.
We're working Saturdays and Sundays. We're getting it done. I mean, we'll the thing is that there's not going to be a job overdue, because if we see it, we're going to see it in hindsight. We're going to see it before it's going to happen, and we're going to work Saturdays and Sundays to get it done. If it's in the county regulated zone, we're going to only work Saturdays from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. But yeah, we're going to work extra hours. We're going to lose a little bit of money, but we're going to get it on time, because money's not always the most important thing, but your name and your loyalty to the company, loyalty to the name of the company is also a big thing. So you have repeat developers.
Okay. Describe a conflict you've had in which you were involved, and how was it resolved?
I would probably say the biggest conflict would probably be guys not being on time and telling them like you try to tell them nicely, and sometimes you can't, and you just gotta be more. They don't give enough respect to you, and you have to give them more authority over them, and try to set them straight. And if that doesn't work out, I mean, the best thing you got to do, and the only option, is just to fire them.
So, what are two of your biggest problems you've encountered at your previous job, and how did you overcome them?
My two biggest problems. My two biggest problems would probably be some jobs we didn't have enough fuel coming to the jobs, and we had to get a fuel tank out there right away. We had to get so the guys could fill up, and also equipment being down and not having enough guys. I'm gonna have to work extra long hours just to get everything done that needs to be done. So taking incentive of what needs to be done and making sure nobody else has to stress except me.
Okay. And then another problem that you've encountered besides the fuel issue?
The stress.
Oh, the stress?
Yeah, what I said about the. I can give you another one.
Okay.
I'd say another problem is people breaking stuff. People are always breaking stuff, and people make mistakes, and you just gotta take the bullet sometimes, and you need to talk to them stern and like make sure they're careful. But if it keeps happening, like I said before, you just gotta fire them.
Do you have think of a major crisis you faced at work, and explain how you handled it?
A major crisis. I would say we had all the dirt in the world, and we didn't know where to go with it. So knocking on doors, doing anything we can to find, calling people that I know, and we found a place. 2 minutes away, we found a place 10 minutes away instead of going 30 minutes away, instead of going 15 minutes away. We being more efficient. I mean, it's always the crisis all the time is fighting time.
Do you have an example of a risk that you took at your job and how it turned out?
A risk that I took at my job, I would um, I would probably say that the biggest risk that I took would be giving ideas on the job site that is our biggest job site, and we have no clue if it's going to work, but it's taken weeks to do. And if it fails, then we're going to be weeks behind. So, the just everyone agreeing on the one idea and praying that it goes through, but with calculated uh, assessment over that idea.
So, in the position that you're hiring for, what managerial style can I expect from you?
Someone who can be nice to people, but if someone keeps messing up, and if people aren't respecting or listening, then can get not me but authoritarian towards people and telling them like you need to listen, you need to respect who is talking, so we can get things done.
Have you ever hired any employees, and have they lived up to your expectations?
Yes, I've hired a couple of employees, and some have came to my expectations. Some have made me very upset. So it's just part of the hiring process, and that's why there's a process involved in it, and that's why we don't shoot people to straight to 30 an hour, and they're stuck at whatever pay they need to be at, what they deserve.
What type of performance problems have you encountered in people who report to you, and how did you motivate them to improve?
I would say the biggest thing is people being on their phones and getting on them every single day, telling them to come on, come on, come on, come on, and just like this isn't so. Them, at least there's one person making them fear what's going to happen to them if they get on their phone. Would be at least for that person. That's their style of how to get them under control of what their bad habits are, but it's definitely different for everybody else.
So, describe a typical day at your last job.
Wake up at 5:30, get ready, and shoot straight to the job. Be there 6:10, 6:15. Make sure everything's running. Check all the levels, fluid levels. Come up with a game plan for everybody. People are getting there at 6:45. Telling them the game plan. I've warmed up their equipment by 6:30, so they don't have to touch anything. We're going through the game plan by 6:45. 15 minutes, we can do whatever we want. 7 o'clock hits, we know what's going on. 7 till guys leave at 12. They're eating lunch. I'm running through. I'm figuring out what needs to be done next, and we're working till 5 o'clock. Everyone leaves at 5 o'clock. I'm here fueling, maintaining equipment, making sure everything's back in the spot. If I need to, get more diesel, and leaving around 6:30. And yeah.
Okay. What is a book you've read recently?
I would say the biggest book and the greatest book is the Bible. That's what I've read recently.
Okay. Is there any particular passage that you found interesting recently?
I would.
Apart from like the whole thing, it's like
Yeah. The most, I would say Job. It would be the last one, and a guy who had everything, and who came. Job had everything, and God took everything away from him, but he still praised God because he had everything and it was all a test because he wanted to find his loyalty, and God, Job kept praising him throughout everything and gave everything back twice what he had, because that was wrong of what God did,
Okay.
and he said that.
Where do you see yourself? Excuse me. Where do you see yourself?
That wasn't
doing?
wrong of what God did. God did it for a purpose, but God does not do anything wrong. Yeah.
Okay. What do you see yourself doing in 5 years from now?
Well, I'll be graduating with college. I would probably be doing less in the company that I would probably be in the company that I'm applying for, and I'd be doing less, but I'd be in a higher position. So yeah, I'd be sticking with it probably.
All right. Sounds good. Well, that concludes our interview. I'll make a copy of this resume before you leave, and
Yeah.
then I'll get back to you in a couple days.
All right.
Thank you for the interview.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.